FilmPt1 was born from a very loose group of people communicating on the IRC chat channels. We were basically into doing different kinds of playful internet projects, and reappropriating the term of Piratbyrån by cutting away the anti was one of those like playful impulses. So we just did it, and people had very different backgrounds. It was a very loose group. Everyone felt that this was something new and unexplored, but at the same time something that we knew would definitely grow in importance for several years ahead.
What they did was to turn the public debate and actually give public opinion a counterpoint. Where there had only been the copyright industry's point of view before, there was now a counterpoint. So when the copyright industry had their voice in the public media, there was also the Pirate Bureau's voice, always. And I mean, that was unthinkable just 5 years ago.
As for Piratbyrån, maybe represents some kind of new wave of criticism against copyright law, when like the first wave was more legalistic, more based on American universities, in fact. Many people think we have like an office and staff and such things, but we don't. We don't have a fixed location.
Well, we wanted to like cover the news, be a practical help for people that didn't know how to do it, because there was no site in Sweden explaining how it's done. It was spread on the street, like from person to person. How do you do this? So I copied a lot of guides from a Swedish biggest internet magazine, like wrote them off. That was the start.
The Pirate Bay has never been a core activity of Piratbyrån. As soon as the Pirate Bay got an important tracker, it was like cut off from Piratbyrån so that we could go on with our core activities, while the people who like to run a BitTorrent tracker did that on their own. Because that's, I mean, our basic principle is not about building empires, but branching off and create a multiplicity of projects. Many international watchers are a bit astonished about how we, instead of taking a very defensive approach, are taking the offensive. I mean, without being aggressively in that way, but using the term pirate signals something that many people didn't think was possible at all.
If you buy bootleg videos or download illegal copies from the internet, how are the people who bring you the movies supposed to
pay for my glasses,
get health insurance,
and pay off my student loans?
Because the movies we love are the work of hundreds of people.
Not just the actors you see on screen, or directors,
but cameramen,
script supervisors,
fire safety officers,
costumers,
and countless others.
Yeah! With your support,
we'll all keep on working.
I don't think that's the whole truth, because I don't think they would earn much more money without people downloading.
Just trying to keep on making money by selling a small plastic disc with information on them is obviously something that won't last.
But they have to find new ways. So there were like hundreds of really creative people, and if they think, like, they can find out new ways. It's not my job.
It's not going to happen tomorrow, of course. So I really hope that and it will, the society and all the stuff around the music industry and the bands and everything, it will change. So, you know, it will be different, I think. And I don't think there's going to be, you know, producers and PR people, and then the next day it's going to be everybody downloads, no one gets paid, and all the musicians, you know, will die and starve to death and so on.
A lot of what the major media companies do today are so obviously based around the copyright model. I mean, in the US you speak about a tentpole model. You find a space of intellectual property that hasn't yet been claimed, and you put your tentpole down and raise a whole tent around it. Like, for example, if you make a movie, you also sell plastic toys and such. which kind of makes up the tent, and obviously that sort of model would be impossible with a different intellectual property climate. They have managed to adapt historically. When the first tape recorders came, oh no, people will be able to copyright music and such. So, and when the first video recorders came, it was the same. Oh no, people will copy our property and we won't make any money. But obviously they were able to adapt to that also.
It's analogous to the complaint that was made against the videocassette recorder 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when the industry did exactly the same crybaby act and said, you know, people recording films off television is going to put us out of business. Well, it didn't. It actually created another revenue stream, and they were able to sell videocassettes at the same time as people taped off air. And in the end, the studios were proved wrong in the courts, and the courts decided against them. But 30 years ago, the courts were much more pro-consumer. Now they're much more pro-corporate.
I think that the music we see on MTV and these music channels, that kind of music will disappear, more or less. And I don't care because I don't even like it. And we will have music which is more for the listeners and not just for people to make money on it. You know, $25 million per album. I think it's absurd.
I don't want to give money to them. I think it's so wrong. It's against my moral and my ethics.
I think that the law is going to be rewritten as the technology insists that it is. You know, it's not a question of right or wrong anymore. People will do what they want to do in order to get what they want. What's the line about behind every great fortune lies a great crime? So the guys who started this business all cheated somebody to get there, and so now they're being cheated, perhaps.
File sharing is not a problem, it's an opportunity. There's a Chinese proverb saying that when the winds of change are blowing, some people are building shelters and others are building windmills.
It's interesting in historical perspective that up to the 70s, recorded music was rather seen as a threat against musicians by, for example, musicians' unions and collecting societies. Instead, it was totally obvious to them that live performances was and remained the main revenue stream for musical performers. Then, after the cassette tape explosion, there was some kind of capitulation to recorded music. And there was a golden age for recording industry with the CD. But if we look backwards today, that rather looks like a historical parenthesis. And I would say that live performances are again turning to be the main revenue stream for musicians, most musicians.
It's one of the great ironies that our enemy in this is our consumer, and one of the rules that anybody in marketing knows is not make an enemy of your customer. We have no choice, because frankly, when the music is being consumed for free, they're no longer customers that we can look after, nor customers that we want.
It is ridiculous to believe that you can give product away for free and be more successful. I mean, it defies the laws of nature. Would a clothing store give all their clothes for free? A car dealership give all their cars for free? Of course not. Now, it doesn't mean you don't do some promotions and you don't use advertising creatively, but nobody can make, if they don't make a profit in this world, they're out of business. That's just the laws of human nature.
The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it. you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress?
I was...
Look again. Freeze it. If you are not one of us, you are one of them.
What are they?
They are guarding all the doors, they are holding all the keys, but they will never be as strong or as fast as you can be.
Politicians can never stop the file-sharing movement. It's always going to be about the young people doing what they want. If they don't think the laws are worth obeying, they won't obey them.
I don't think that the American government or anybody else can stop like what's happening on the internet when it comes to downloading files. They maybe in the short run they can make some small ways to fight Pirate Bay, but I think in the long run they cannot control it.
The internet, it's too big, you can't fight against it. It will always be possible to share and download. I don't think no one can stop it. It's new technique, and I think people will find ways to use it anyway.
The technology is always evolving, so the lobbyists will have a hard time to catch up with the file sharers. So I think there will always be one step behind.
I don't even believe they let police state crap that they will get through with it. People will always try to share ideas and share files.
I think file sharing will last forever.
Why must I be the thief? Why must
we are not interested in compromises with this. We are interested in new things, not old solutions, that is compromises.
For quite long now been involved in freedom of speech issues, and this is a direct extension of that. So as personal, I see the Pirate Bay as a sort of organized civil disobedience to simply force a change of the current copyright laws and the general copyright climate.
The Pirate Bay is very fun. It's a technical challenge to run it, and I really don't care much about people telling me what I can and can't do.